What's going on, guys? Sleeveless Mike of Raw Dog Sports. I am back with day 21 of 32, and that means we are on to the Steelers. Not only do I exist out of spite, wherever it is on my shirt, there it is, I also have to do today's mock draft out of spite because I'm a massive Browns fan, but I will not intentionally screw over the Steelers by drafting 12 kickers and punters. I'm excited to get into this one. I don't want them to get any better, but we're going to make sure that they try to do that today. If you've been tuning in, guys, thank you very much. If you stop by while you're here down below, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Come back. You can check out all the mocks that we have going up to the NFL draft. Myself and Evo, my co-host on Raw Dog Sports, will be at the NFL draft, getting some really cool behind-the-scenes stuff, I think. But with that, let's get into this Steelers draft. We got 7 rounds, PFF big board. We're not changing any of this stuff because we want it to remain the same for all the teams, at least while PFF still exists. Here we go. Let's get into this Steelers draft. We'll go back. We'll recap the top 10. We got Mendoza 1, makes sense. Sonny Styles 2, crazy. Arvell Reese, 3. Jeremiah Love, 4. Ruben Bain, 5. Caleb Downs, 6. That has been growing traction here in Cleveland. David Bailey, 7. Carnell Tate, 8. Dylan Theinman, 9. And Francis Maui Noah sliding all the way down to 10. Cincinnati would love for something like that to happen. All right, let's get on down to this Steelers pick. Top needs: quarterback, running back, guard, tackle. I've seen a lot of mocks that say receiver is the right pick here. Now, the Steelers have gone out and made some moves that have helped that wide receiver room. So I don't know that that's a huge need. I mean, that room now looks like DK Metcalf, Michael Pittman Jr., who they trade and go bring in, and then a Roman Wilson, who's a 3. But Michael Pittman's a 1-2. DK's a 1. So, that's a pretty solid group. I don't know if the top need is receiver because they went out and made the trade. I've seen a lot of people mocking receiver to the Steelers, though. Here, I think we could maybe address guard or tackle if we have one. Blake Miller here. Caden Proctor right here. I don't think there's a guard that we want to take just yet. We'll see if we can get one of these guys later on. So obviously quarterback, it says, is the top need. The top quarterbacks in this draft are not great. You have Mason Rudolph and Will Howard on the Steelers already. At this point, do you want to bring in a Ty Simpson, which feels like a massive overdraft, to compete against Mason Rudolph and Will Howard? I don't think so. I don't know. There's a huge delta between any of those guys. Mason would obviously be the starter to begin the season because he knows the system. He's been there. Well, actually, new coach. Mike McCarthy's there now. So, and there's always the looming possibility that Aaron Rodgers goes back. Oh, God. So quarterback is not the right move here. I think we're going to lean tackle. Now, Blake Miller, Caden Proctor. Blake Miller, right tackle. I mean, you can try to move him over to the left side. Miller has the frame and overall skill set of a potential NFL starting offensive tackle. His experience shows up in his patience, consistent pass protections, and if he continues to add strength, he can develop into an impact player. That is coming right from PFF. Now, Caden Proctor played left tackle. Proctor is huge, is massive, powerful offensive line prospect with surprisingly good coordination and movement ability for his size. However, his lack of ideal foot speed and arm length for tackle makes him a strong candidate to move inside to guard. Now, with Broderick Jones being possibly sidelined a little bit because he had surgery in the offseason, left tackle might make a little bit more sense. Plus, you have the flexibility of going to guard with Caden Proctor. That takes care of, kind of hits both of these needs. So we're going to go with a Caden Proctor here at 21 for the Steelers. I think he's going to be good. I don't know that he sticks at left tackle. He probably slides inside or moves over to the right side, but I think he's going to be a good player. All right, moving on down to pick 53. Hoo-wee. All right, so now we can maybe start to address receiver. We got a Chris Brazell right here. Got a Surratt a little later on, which is around that 76 pick. Brazell, boomer bust, vertical receiver capable of posting 100 yards 1 week and 20 the next. His route tree is limited, but what he does, winning downfield, he does very well. In a vertical offense, he projects as a high upside outside receiver who will likely begin his career as a wide receiver 3. If a team bets on his skill set and he hits, he has the potential to become an impact player. So, kind of a one-trick pony is what we're getting here, and it's kind of consistently that way out of Tennessee receivers. Michael Pittman's a really solid intermediate receiver. DK can stretch the field, though. I mean, do you need a Chris Brazell if we have a DK Metcalf? I don't know. I don't think that we do. I think later on we can get a receiver. So let's go back and continue to look at offensive line, and we'll toss in one of these quarterbacks. Cool. That's a long ways away. All right. So at this point, running back, I don't feel like is a big need either. You got Jalen Warren, you bring in Rico Dowdle, you got Caleb Johnson. That room is pretty stacked. So not worried about a running back as a top need here. I don't know what PFF is saying, why that's one of the top needs. You know, another corner might not be a terrible thing. Okay. So obviously a lot of things happened in the offseason. We'll quickly try to get through all the stuff that the Steelers have done. Signed Jamel Dean to a 3-year deal. That's big. Rico Dowdle comes in on a 2-year deal. Jaquan Brisker, 1-year deal. Sebastian Day-Joseph, 2-year deal. Asante Samuel Jr. re-signed on a 1-year deal. Punter brought in, Darnell Savage brought in on a 1-year deal. That's some depth. And then Travis Homer, running back, brought in. So they've already kind of addressed the corner position. They bring in Jamel Dean. That's a solid piece. They bring back Asante Samuel Jr. They still have Jalen Ramsey. So maybe corner's not the right way to go here, even though Keontae Scott, I think, could be really helpful. They've already kind of gone out and addressed that, even though Jalen Ramsey is getting up there in age. It might be time for him to retire or maybe make that full-time position change to a safety. I don't feel like that's the right spot for that either. So with all of this here, I mean, Pat Freiermuth, great player. Eli Stowers could be incredible. Mason Thomas, I feel like could be a pretty nice piece there. Explosive traits with track background, giving pass rush upside. Despite his size limitations, I feel like he could probably convert to a 3-4 stand-up guy. Man. You know what? I feel like with how good this guy can be and with the aging of the linebacker core in the series, the entire defense is getting older. It's really hard to pass up R. Mason Thomas here. So I'm going to take R. Mason Thomas with the 53rd pick for the Steelers. Okay, so this is really great. I got Keelan Rutledge right here, so I can continue to address that offensive line if I want it. Kyle Luis is a player I love sitting right here. Will he be around at 85? Not sure. That offensive line was not necessarily great for them last year. But it's hard to Aaron Rodgers either held the ball really too long or it was an immediate quick game throw. But you know what? With Rutledge sitting right here, it would be hard to kind of pass him up. Rutledge delivered a steady 2025 campaign, earning a 78.4 pass blocking grade and 76.8 run blocking grade, while not allowing a sack, surrendered just 6 total pressures. His career splits suggest a scheme-dependent run blocker, though, with well below production on zone concepts. I think that you could probably put this guy in the Steelers offense and he would be just fine. They're more gap power scheme anyway. So Keelan Rutledge right here to the Steelers. Well, we'll see if they continue to be more gap scheme with McCarthy coming in. All right, moving on. Too late. Picks already made. So we got some interesting guys on the board here. Max Clare, Sam Roush, Sam Heck. We got a lot of offensive line here. Gone tackle, edge defender, and guard. Steelers fans, I promise I'm not. Okay, so here it is. This is where it's going to come together for you guys. You're taking Ted Hurst here at 85. Of the receivers that are still available, Ted Hurst is by far the best one. Ted Hurst was at Senior Bowl. So was Malachi Fields. Ted Hurst looked better in basically everything that they did. Ted Hurst went to a small school. That's why people did not know about him. He's climbed up the draft board. I think that he could potentially see himself all the way at the top of the 3rd round. Maybe even creeping into the back of the 2nd round, right in this range. He could go. But since he's here at 85, receiver has been mocked to the Steelers plenty. Let's address that right here and go Ted Hurst at 85. Whoo! Now, quarterback, top need. Garrett Nussmeier sitting right here. I don't like Nussmeier. I'm not a Nussmeier fan. Steelers fans, I don't know if you like Nussmeier, but I'm not a Nussmeier fan. I think there's way more upside in Drew Aller. And I think there's way more upside in Carson Beck than I do in Garrett Nussmeier. I am a Browns fan, so it kind of makes me want to give you Garrett Nussmeier. But I'm not going to do that. Let's see if I can address. Already kind of went in that direction once with Mason Thomas. I know it says running back, but I don't think that a running back is a huge need here. We've addressed offensive line plenty. Let's look at the safeties. Oh, man. Okay, so we're going to have to start getting into some tough decisions here. So we got Genesis Smith. Good year. Mostly a deep safety, can play in the box as well, plays out in the slot. You've seen he kind of has been around all over the place. 6'2", 204. Smith has intriguing size and athletic traits for a single high role, but inconsistency with physicality and play strength limits his reliability. Let's go take a look at what they got on Bud Clark. 6'2", 190. Clark is a long, explosive playmaker with strong ball skills, but his lack of strength and run defense will need to be managed. So I think Bud Clark is very similar to a Genesis Smith, and that deep safety is probably their best role, and Bud Clark showed a ton of ball production. Now, he did give up some touchdowns. So there are some warts there. No doubt about it. But I like Bud Clark a lot. I think Bud Clark could be really good, and especially if he goes to the Steelers. He's already got that like shit-talking mentality. It was talked about at the combine and his media availability. So Bud Clark $99. I know it seems like a bit of an overdraft, but Steelers fans, you will be okay with this if it happens. Bud Clark's a dog. All right, on to 121. Oh, man. So now we're going to address the quarterback spot, and we're going to go Carson Beck. I think Carson Beck might have the most upside of all three of those other guys because now while Drew Aller has all the physical traits, you worry a lot about his accuracy. Carson Beck has performed at 2 high-level programs and had to go through an injury kind of in the middle of it. And that injury affects his throwing arm. He had Tommy John. So he's not going to be expected to probably start right away. The more time that you give Carson Beck to kind of sit back, learn, and grow healthier, the better. Like the higher the ceiling is on this kid, then maybe you get the guy that everybody thought was coming out a couple of years ago. So Carson Beck right here at 121 to the Steelers. And I don't love it for my Browns. So, but Steelers fans, I think you should be happy. All right, continuing to roll on here. Oh, man, you guys got a ton of picks in this draft. At this point, we start looking for things that we can maybe provide a little extra depth. Some traits for a big-time playmaker, potentially. 135. At this point, I don't know that. I mean, we can talk Singleton. If we wanted to talk a halfback here, who could be really explosive. Singleton is a gifted athlete, particularly for his size. He has the physical tools to be a productive NFL back, but inconsistent patience and creativity with the ball limits his ceiling. He does offer legitimate third down potential as a capable receiver. So, like, there's some stuff there. There's some meat on the bone that you like. I don't like doing that. I'm not doing that. I don't want to reach too far. Let's go take a look at the corners. Demings. Small school guy. No extra write-ups on him. And I don't know a ton about Demings. Let's get back into there. Marshall. Prysock. See, it feels like such an overdraft. That feels like that's the next pick, right? Linebackers. Torian York here. I mean, good in coverage. Shorter guy, though. Elite anticipation and instincts despite below average measurables. His intelligence and competitiveness give him a chance to stick as a Mike linebacker. Can he play inside linebacker? I don't know. I don't know that he's capable of dealing with the physicality of that. And that's an overdraft and a half. Oh, it's getting tough in here. It's getting tough in here, folks. You know what? Older running back, which is not great, 24 years old. But, I mean, should be a ready-made prospect come in. You don't fucking need a running back. You really don't. You know what, though? Let's go with the Jake Endries here. Can play a little bit everywhere, right? Can line up in the slot, can line up in line. Not a great blocker, but, I mean, do a little bit of both. Let's go Endries here. And we'll move on to this next pick because it's just going to keep getting harder and harder. Prysock right here. That's where we're going to go. I was kind of looking at him just a little bit ago. But I mean, long ass corner, 6'4", 195. Would fit inside that defense pretty well. I mean, this late in the draft, you're taking traits, and he's got a shitload of them. All right, on to 216. Man. This one has run a little long, and I apologize for that, you guys. But the Steelers have a lot of picks, and it hurts my heart to make them as good as I'm making them right now. Especially because, I mean, Eli Heidenreich is sitting right here. You want to talk about would be a great culture fit. Eli Heidenreich would be that kind of guy. Running back, wide receiver, could probably carve out an interesting role on that offense. I mean, and there's just so many more picks as well coming. We can get depth everywhere. Let's go to Eli Heidenreich. 224. The tight end room is not bad. You got a couple like Pat Freiermuth can catch kind of. I mean, you don't use them a ton. Darnell Washington is a tackle that can catch the ball as well. Let's add another interesting body type guy in Riley Nowakowski, who can line up a fullback, tight end, and will give a little extra depth and very similar type things that already happened inside that Steelers tight end room. So it feels like a fit, and maybe Pat's getting up there in age. Maybe moving on here happens fairly soon. Let's go Riley Nowakowski. And on to 230. Gone. Caden Proctor, R. Mason Thomas, Keelan Rutledge, Ted Hurst, Bud Clark, Carson Beck, Jake Endries, Ephesians Prysock, Eli Heidenreich, Riley Nowakowski. We're going to go with a Jaden Kennedy here late. I got an F for drafting him once. We'll see what I get this time around. And to finish this thing off with this much longer mock draft, already addressed tight end. You know what? Right here. Eric Gentry, late 3-4 outside linebacker type that could learn from a TJ Watt and maybe step in and rotate every so often. Eric Gentry to finish this thing. And we'll see what I get on this draft. All right. So we got B+ Caden Proctor, A- R. Mason Thomas, A- Keelan Rutledge, C- Ted Hurst. That's fine. D, Bud Clark. That's fine. A, Carson Beck. There we go. I like that. Endries, B-, Prysock, C+, Heidenreich, A, Riley Nowakowski, C+, Candidate, B, Gentry, C+, for an overall grade of a B in the bottom 29% of Steelers draft. So Steelers fans, let me know in the comment section how bad I did. I'm a Browns fan. Let me know. Did I fuck you guys? Did I help you? Honestly, I hope that I did a good job for the sake of the content. But in real life, don't forget, I am a Browns fan, and I hope you guys suck. But with that, I'm going to get out of here. If you guys spent some time with me today, thank you very much. Time is the most valuable thing that you have. So anytime you give something to me or anybody associated with the No Sleeves Network and Raw Dog Sports, I am forever grateful. With that, I'm going to get out of here, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you.